Here now, Dana Loesch, NRA spokesperson and nationally syndicated radio host. Dana, good evening to you. I'm quite sure, obviously, that you support this idea, but clarify for us exactly what this report recommended in terms of who could potentially be armed and what layer would they be of the defense.
Right. Martha, thank you so much for covering this. And obviously, I'm pleased to see that the commission came to this conclusion and is making this recommendation. And I hope it extends beyond Florida. You know, as a mom with kids in school, this is something I would like to see. I want to make sure that our staff and our students are protected. Now, as far as this commission, which was chaired by Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, who I actually spoke with a little earlier today, they're looking at this as not forcing all teachers to be armed. And I think that that's a huge misconception that comes up in the press quite a lot. These are teachers who voluntarily choose to do so, undergo background checks, and also undergo strict training as a result of this recommendation. And they are the last line of defense. And that's the other big misconception about this. Everyone thinks when you hear the phrase, well, we're just going to put guns everywhere. That's not what this is. And this isn't what the commission's talking about. Every entity, schools should have multiple layers of security. Perimeter fences should be locked. Doors should be locked and monitored. You should have a code red system, a video security system. All of these layers, if every single layer fails, then as the last line of defense, a teacher who is trained, who has undergone a background check, who is volunteering and is capable of acting when needed, is able to defend themselves and students. And I think that that is a great recommendation that everyone can get behind.
I mean, you definitely need multiple layers of protection, because we know that Scott Peterson, who was supposed to run to their aid, did not. We also know that the Coral Springs police arrived before the Broward County office police and went past them after they were told not to go in. So you clearly need multiple layers. One other issue I want to get to before we run out of time is the mental health transparency part of this, because I think this is so important, such an important component of these recommendations.
Absolutely. There were 69, according to the Florida Sun-Sentinel, who has done an amazing job at covering the story. Remarkable journalism, and I applaud them and the Miami Herald for this. 69 documented mental health warnings with this murderer. Not only that, but one of the recommendations by the commission, Martha, with regards to your concern here, is that they want to make sure that mental records are actually filed and that they stay with the student no matter what program they're involved in or what school they're transferred to. Additionally, they want to make sure that all offenses are properly reported to law enforcement. They discovered, the Florida Sun-Sentinel conducted an investigation, and they discovered numerous felonious offenses like rape, kidnapping, sometimes arson, even murder in certain school districts across Florida that weren't properly reported. And the commission wants to make sure that all of this is adequately monitored and that these potential threats can be remedied, they can be mitigated. And that was one of the big recommendations. And one other really quick thing, one of the other things that's often talked about is the video security system. They want to make sure that law enforcement has access to security systems with schools, and school districts train law enforcement on how to access and operate them.
Important recommendations. Dana, thank you very much. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Martha.